Let's unpack it a little bit, and this will help everybody. What we're going to do is reverse engineer the insight, because I think we can go one layer deeper. You're saying that companies are confused about having the right inventory of equipment to complete the job. Yes, or did I miss that?
A little bit. I could be clear on that point. Basically, what I'm saying is there's a wide variety of different opportunities, but as a smaller company, you struggle to keep the correct equipment in inventory.
And if they don't have the right equipment in inventory, what happens?
They either lose the opportunity or they would come to someone like me that could rent them that right equipment.
And what is the ramifications of them waiting till the last minute to come to you?
They're most likely not going to get their bid in on time because they need the numbers for the bid.
Okay. And what would you like them to start doing, not just out of a self-serving perspective, but what would be the action that they need to take right now to make sure that this is a more streamlined process?
Probably get pricing from me, or consider rentals as an option for their upcoming projects.
Yeah. So where you could maybe tweak this, and I don't know if it's perfect, but I'm going to give you something to think about here over the next couple days. Where you could tweak this is less like specifics and more in general what's going on in the marketplace. Now, the words I would definitely remove is what we're seeing. Because when we say what we're seeing, we expect a salesperson to say that. So I would say, here, the thing I wanted to make sure you were aware of is very different than what we're seeing. We're kind of saying the same thing, but we expect every salesperson to say what we're seeing is. So you could say, I just want to make sure you are aware of everything with the economy right now, with everything that's changing. We have markets that all of the sudden nothing happened for months are going completely hog wild, and then other areas where you think you have a project and the project doesn't come, to fruition. I haven't told you anything you haven't had to live with for the last 24 months. Here's what nobody's talking about. Okay? It's very difficult right now in this economy, this market, with these interest rates, when jobs are starting, when they're not starting, to really get a gauge for what deals are real and what deals are not real. And the difficulty is a lot of companies, they're losing the time in being able to, number one, respond quickly to these potential projects, thus losing them the project, or worse, they respond quickly and their numbers are off, thus forcing them to have a very uncomfortable conversation with the person they sold on that project, having to supplement or take it out of their own pocket. How are you guys dealing with this? The fact that all of the sudden your clients want the information yesterday, but you have to balance taking a guess at the pricing, right? And what that does, that's just a more realistic conversation. You're like, well, what does that have to do with equipment rental? I'll explain, right? You can say, hey, what I'd like to do is, what I'm happy to do, I get paid either way, whether this is going to be helpful for you, whether you're a client or not. We can sit down, kind of go through the projects that you have in your pipeline, go through the projects that you've done recently, and I'm happy to give you some insights. I live and breathe this equipment. I literally lay in bed at night thinking about this kind of stuff. And whether you rent it from me, continue to do what you're doing, or don't use it at all, I'm able to give you some insights in terms of getting the right pricing in front of that customer the first time without a delay, right? Does it make sense for us to talk? And worst case, you've got another number in the bat phone there that you can call and we can get that information in front of you. It's just, we've got to, for all of us, when we position these insights, we've got to be less salesy and less solution-centric in the insight and more problem-centric. There's a huge difference. We need to talk about the problem. We need to get them sold on the problem first, right? And then once they, this is a problem. I didn't even really think about that. How are you planning on dealing with it? I hadn't really thought about it, right? And now they're listening to us and us able to make our recommendations. And hopefully as you communicate with them, you can say, I'm happy to help you with this as much as I can, whether you're a client or not. And that's a fast way to win a client. If you like this video, I got you. I'm going to hook you up. Click the link in my bio. I'm going to give you the closing mini masterclass. It's normally $300. I'm going to pay for everything. you're going to close a lot more business. You're going to make a lot more money. You're going to have a lot more fun. And you're going to be like, Matt Easton changed my life. And I'm going to be like, yes, I did. Did we just become best friends? And you're going to say, yes, we did. And then you and I are going to be best friends, and it'll be great. So click the link in my bio so we can be friends and you can close more business, and I'll cover all the cost. See you there.